Hi, and welcome to this vocabulary lesson because we are going to look at synonyms, collocations in context, and words that belong in the word family. I hope you'll stick around with me every single day, learn these 3,000 words with me. Partly. Partly means not all of it. And we use it very often when we talk about the weather. Today is partly cloudy. It means sometimes the sun will shine, sometimes it won't. Some synonyms for the word partly are partially, halfway, in part, or maybe pretty. Pretty as in almost, or like it was pretty great, meaning it's almost great, not completely. Rather, partly. So partly can show a cause or a reason if we put it with because, but it's not a complete. She moved to Boston partly because of a new job opportunity. So partly because of. This means it's one of several reasons that caused her decision. We can use partly in the sense of sharing responsibility. The manager was partly responsible for the project's failure. So in this sentence, it means that the manager shares some, but not all of the blame. It's often used when discussing fault or accountability, when we say partly responsible. We can put partly with true. What he said was partly true, but he left out some important details. Some of the statement is correct, but not all of it. This suggests a mixture of truth and falsehood. If I say, well, that's partly true, I could also say that's partially true. You'll hear both partially and partly. Partial completion. The road repairs were partly completed and should finish next week. The work is not yet finished. It's partly completed. This is neutral and often used to report on updates. We always use partly when we're talking about the weather. Tomorrow will be partly cloudy with temperatures around 75 degrees. The sky will have both clouds and sunshine. This is a very neutral weather forecast. The scholarship was partly funded by local businesses. Okay, so the whole scholarship came from lots of places. Many of the places were businesses. I agree with you partly, but I think there are other factors to consider. I agree with you partly is a nice way to say or to focus on, yes, we agree, but there is also this part that I don't agree with. The company's success was partly due to effective marketing. So the reason, anytime you have a due to, you're looking at a reason. Partly due to means that there are several reasons, and one of the reasons is effective marketing. The building was partly damaged during the storm. Not completely, but partly. Her accent is partly influenced by the years she spent abroad. So partly is generally more formal than a little or somewhat. So you can say it was a little bit, ... or it's somewhat. Partly is more formal than that. It's somewhat cloudy, or it's a little bit cloudy, it's partly cloudy. It's less formal than to a certain extent. To a certain extent is a phrase that would mean, so here's, to a certain extent is a phrase that means somewhat. A little is less formal, somewhat is less formal. To a certain extent is more formal, and partly fits between those. Partly is common in both spoken and written English. The opposite of partly would be wholly or all, maybe fully. The noun is part. You can part the waters. You can also partition the waters, divide the waters. Partial or part, and partly. Partly. I really hope that you enjoyed this word. Research shows that if you know 3,000 words, then you can pretty much say anything you need to say. I hope I'll see you tomorrow, and please like and subscribe.